Let us go to our next question, which is from Hari in California. I feel like I've never had real control over my emotions. They are all over the place. I wish that I could decide when I want to be happy, when I want to be sad, and when I show my anger. I've never tried therapy, but I'm skeptical that talking about my feelings will make any difference. What is the first thing I should do to get control over my emotions? This is from Hari in California. Hari, thank you so much for your question. This is probably the question that I get most often as a therapist. How can I get some control over my emotions? And I think the first thing I always say to people is to begin to conceptualize emotions as physiology. So, yes, we have emotions like sadness, happiness, joy, disappointment, shame. And so, I want people to start to begin to connect. When I feel sad, this is what happens physiologically in my body, and really begin to be aware of how emotions are connected to physiology. Because emotions are difficult to control. Emotions can show up, just like our thoughts can show up. We have a lot of control over our physiology. And so that would be the first thing I would recommend. So, tracking throughout the day. When I feel sad, my stomach feels like it's dropping, my chest gets really heavy, and I start to cry. Versus someone else, when I feel sad, my heart starts pounding really quickly, my eyes dilate, and I start getting rapid racing thoughts about not crying because I'm afraid to cry in front of people. So, emotions are both sadness in this case. They start off with an emotion of sadness, but the physiology, the way it shows up for the person, is different in those two examples. And therefore, the way of approaching the emotion is going to be different in those two examples. I posted this I'm going to post this graphic in the Instagram post, but it's essentially the nervous system. I can show it to you now just while we're all sitting here together. Let me just show you. It's kind of show you a large picture. So this is our nervous system. Okay, so that is what we'd consider a healthy curve. Okay, so that curve is right in the middle. And basically we think of this as the middle of our nervous system. So this is where we feel calm, we feel connected, we don't feel sluggish, but we also don't feel anxious. We're just in that zone where we feel good and we feel engaged. When we get up above that zone, that's where anxiety, mania, hypomania, that manic energy, racing thoughts, feeling of adrenaline, usually not very comfortable. And then when we get below the normal range, that's when we can start feeling sluggish, we can feel depressed, like we don't want to get out of bed, kind of heavy, lethargic. And so the goal is really, if you're up here, pulling down here, and if you're down here in depression, pulling up into the normal range. And normal, it's more so functional range because most of us function best when we're regulated. So the first thing is really to begin to identify when I'm feeling something, this is how my body's responding. And then the next step is to begin to track your nervous system. If you want me to send you my tracker for your nervous system, I'm happy to do that. Just send me an email at hello@drcammy.com. You can also find that on my website, blissinbeing.com, BLISSINBEING.com, and I will send you the graph that I use for clients. But basically, it's just recognizing, maybe you set your alarm like every 4 hours on your phone. And when that alarm goes off, you think, okay, where am I in the nervous system? Am I in my functional zone? Am I anxious? Am I depressed? And just plot it. Okay, because it's helpful to be able to see what your graph looks like over time for your nervous system. And then we can take that data and actually start to shift it. So we need a baseline first. So, in answer to Hari's question about what is the first thing I should do to get control over my emotions, the first thing you should do is understand them. So understand, when I feel this emotion, here's what's going on in my body, one. And then the second thing you can start to do is to start to track what's going on in your nervous system. That can be as simple as setting an alarm on your phone every 4 hours, and when it goes off, you think, over the last 4 hours or over the last 2 hours, have I been regulated? Have I been functional? Have I been calm? Or have I been anxious? Or have I been depressed? And then you're literally just plot the dot on the nervous system graph. And again, I'm happy to share mine with you if that would be helpful.